So my last couple videos was about the quote unquote escape from the United States of America in case there's a collapse in the United States of America. Okay? Just the whole country just crumbles. All right. And I was talking about how if you want to move, if you see something like that on the horizon, your best bet will be to leave today. Okay. Or now. Okay. Because during a collapse, it's very difficult to say, oh, I'm going to just go leave now. Okay. And that there's evidence of that around the globe. Okay. Also, in my last videos, you would have to decide which countries would be affected the least, okay, by a collapse of the United States of America. And I mentioned those countries also because I looked them up. So 9 times out of 10, most people are going to remain in the United States of America. Um, and there are lots of reasons why, which I gave in the other videos, okay? Um, one of them being that everywhere else is going to collapse too. There's proof of this actually. If you go back to the Great Depression, okay, that all started right here in the United States of America, and like clockwork, like it would today, everywhere else would collapse, and there would be a power vacuum. Okay, there will be people trying to gain footing and gain control, and it will lead to what? Oh, potentially a war. Okay, so this is what would happen. It's not something as simple as just the United States collapsing. The United States the United States is a superpower. If the United States collapses, it's going to take a whole bunch of other countries along with it. So, this is what I've been saying. So, moving, it could hurt you or help you. It all depends on where you move, because they these things happen. This has happened before in the past, and we don't know to an extent of what could potentially happen. Okay, during the Great Depression, that shot off World War II. Okay, and that was when Hitler then was trying to do all the things. Okay, yeah, there were extremists going on. Everything, people were becoming extreme, and people are going to rise up no matter where they are to try and take control from terrorist groups and everything else. They're going to rise up to try and take control. Not only that, the banking systems sucked. Okay. So let's say you do move. Okay. Or if you stay right here, the banking systems more than likely will collapse too. Not just here, but around the world. Right now, we're already living in the tariff arena and in the shipping of goods is decreasing. So it looks like we're seeing the collapse of international trade right now. Like right now. These are the same things that happened during the Great Depression. Okay. So we're seeing the collapse of international trade if they don't get their stuff together. Okay. And it's going to just keep on going and going and going. Now, when you talk about moving somewhere, be aware that if there is a collapse of the United States of America, the banking systems are going to plummet. Okay? It's just going to happen. And there's also going to be unemployment. Okay? Then for the continents and the countries that export a lot, they aren't going to be exporting anything. Hardly anything. That's going to fall too. It's going to affect from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom. Okay? So if you decide, and I'm so serious about this, all you got to do is look what happened during the Great Depression. Just look it up. Okay? It's going to affect the entire globe. My whole thing is don't jump based off of fear and emotion. This if you plan on moving, it has to be a logical, rational move. Okay? Because like I said in my previous videos, you may end up going into a worse situation. depending on how this all falls out. Okay? You may end up moving into a worse situation. Don't make moves based off celebrities. Celebrities have the leeway. Celebrities can go here, there, and everywhere because they have millions of dollars and they have their celebrity. Okay? You don't. And again, the reason I'm saying this is because I see a lot of people online talking about it's time to move, it's time to move, it's time to move, it's time to move, it's time to move. Okay? Don't move into a situation because you did not examine that situation before you got there. What could potentially happen there? Okay? That's all I'm saying. Because here in the United States of America, at least you have your peoples. When you move, you're not going to have your peoples. Just in case there's a fallout, like during World War II. Those times were not easy. During the Great Depression and all of those times were not easy. People were out back. I can tell you how Americans survived. We had our backyard gardens. Okay? So for people who aren't fleeing the country, you can figure out ways to survive here. Okay? But those who are fleeing the country, and this is just real life common sense, you probably need to understand the dynamics of the country you're going to and how they will be affected by any type of United States collapse. Okay? And that's just reality. People don't like to hear the reality, but that's just the freaking reality. And if you don't know the reality of what could happen during a United States collapse, just go look it up. Look up the Great Depression. It starts there. As a matter of fact, some of the things that led to World War II are happening right now. So if this keeps up, it's going to be another world war. As a matter of fact, we've already heard this administration say that. But when you go back and look at the Great Depression and what was going on, they started getting rid of who? Immigrant people first. They moved a lot of Mexican, American, and Mexican people out of the United States of America. There was a bunch of tariffs, international trade stopped, all that. Then the bank started collapsing and all that. So, yeah. And then World War III. And if you were American and you were out abroad, things got bad for you, even out there. And then you weren't even at home when they got bad because of the banking system's collapse and the the indigenous or the citizens of that country you fled to, they can't find work. You can't either. So this is just the reality. Bump all the emotions. This is just the reality.